So we remember the fiber that I blended last week. Here it is. Here it is in the cupcake, as I call it. That lighter color on top is silk. It's so pretty. I love looking at the silk. So just kind of doing a little recap here before I show you some of the spinning, and then we'll get into working up the swatches. That sparkle. Oh my gosh, it is so pretty. All right, so I decided after I lost the video for the fiber that I blended, spinning it, I figured I would just go ahead and add in a little clip of spinning the second single and then show you plying them together. Now, I did cut out a whole bunch of it because you don't want to sit there while I spin all of this and then ply all of it. But I did want to go through some of the color changes. So I cut out bits and pieces, you know, here and there, so that way you could see it go from blue to green, not all of blue and all of green. And then I cut out some of it and then went to the next color. There's the red. You can see the bobbin's quite a bit full compared to what it was the last time. And then I cut out a bunch again, and we go to that orangish yellow color here in just a moment. There we are. It takes a while to fill these bobbins, and you don't want to sit here and watch just that. We want to get to the swatches. What does it look like after it's been blended together and hand spun? So I went ahead and I worked on, you know, recording the different parts to do the update and get to that point. So next up, I'm going to show you the pictures of it as a hank and also of it as a cake, because this is more of a self-striping yarn. What I ended up doing is just going ahead and pulling down the Addi and worked it all the way through on the Addi. And I'll show that to you after the pictures, and I will crochet a little bit here in front of you with it. But I wanted to show you the full color changes and how it turned out. And now, of course, this will be knitted, not crocheted all the way through. But I will crochet up a little bit so that way you can see the, you know, what it looks like in crochet, because it always does look different. There we are. We are taking it all the way through. It is complete. Now, I just thought this was going to be a little bit fun, and I decided while I was caking it up, it looked cool coming off the bobbin, and I would just film it so that way you could see it going in reverse off the bobbin. The color changes in reverse. I don't know. It was amusing to me, and I thought that you guys might like it. It's funny because I can see all the sparkle as it's going. Sparkle, 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 sparkle in the light. Those colors do look really, really cool. All right, so here we are. Here's our jelly roll from the Addi, so you can see. And I will go ahead and open it up. because I'm actually going to crochet from the orange end here. But here we go. So we have the blue transitioning into the green, transitioning into the reds, and a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow mixture there, back and forth. Because if you watched the blending and me pulling it off of the drum carder, you know that I took a section of the previous color along with the next color, and that carried through. And here we have the orange and red and onto the orange. So now we're just going to crochet up a quick swatch just so you can see it crocheted. Let me grab a hook here. And hopefully you enjoy getting to see what it looks like, both knitted and crocheted. You'll have to tell me what on your side of things. I know you won't be able to see the full extent of it completely crocheted, but what do you like better? Do you like it crocheted or knitted? I know not everyone crochets and not everyone knits, but we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook, and I'm going to chain a few chains and start crocheting with it. As you see, it crochets up just fine in single crochet. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to start in the back loop and work some single crochets. Go. I'll work another row of single crochets as well. Now at the end of this video, there is a picture of it hand knitted and also a picture of it crocheted. Now the hand knitted part is in blue and the crocheted part is in orange. See if I can find my back bumps. You know how it is when you're working in front of a camera or other people, you tend to get a little bit more nervous. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to chain one, turn my work, run another row of single crochets, just so you can see it is crocheting up just fine. And if you've ever had an Addi or the Centro or any of those, you know that a lot of times they can be extremely finicky about the yarn that they like. And not everyone in my research has to use the same yarn. Mine is particular to a certain type of yarn, and others don't. Their Addi doesn't like the yarn that mine does. It's so weird. But you do know that they're, you know, finicky and don't much care for certain yarns. Well, as you see, the whole entire thing from start to finish went through my Addi. So that's always pleasing, especially, I have my hair wound up in here, especially since they are so picky and I didn't want it to break my yarn. All right, we'll do some double crochets on the next row, or half double crochets, either one. Let's go with halves. As you see, I'm not having an issue at all crocheting with it. A lot of times you worry about it splitting and stuff like that because we're not machines. When we're when we're crocheting, knitting, any of that. But when we're spinning, we're not machines. We try to, of course, get it you know, as close to perfect as possible, as humanly possible. But it's not going to be absolutely 100% perfect. So you are going to have a little bit of a thick and thin. And let's go ahead and do a double crochet row. How about that? Now that was a mock double crochet, in case you're wondering, what the heck did you just do? I'll do it again on the next row. I skipped a stitch. When I do my videos where I'm like doing hats or something that I work double crochets and the start is a double crochet, I do what's called a mock double crochet, and I go slow on that very first one. But if you don't like, don't like it, or you can't get it, you can always just chain, your normal 2 or 3 chains to make your double crochet. This is about the yarn here, not my double crochets, right? But I'll show you one more time real quick. I love the mock double crochet, especially for hats, because it looks like a double crochet instead of a chain, and it gives a nice look to the hat. Sorry for bouncing the camera around here. All right, so there's our row of double crochets. I'm going to do one more row of double crochets with you. So I pull up a loop the size of a double crochet, and then wrap it around. I'm going to go real quick with this. Wrap it around my hook, insert my hook to the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook now, and go through and through. So that's the mock double crochet. It makes it look like a double crochet. Again, if you watch that in tutorials, I go really slow and really in-depth explain it, but this is more about the yarn, not the stitch. All right, coming to the end here of this little swatch of crochet. One more down here. That's because I didn't put a stitch marker in it. There we are. If I would have put a stitch marker in the top of that stitch, it would have been fine. But I didn't. All right, there we are. Pull up a loop. And we will take a look at it. So here we are, both sides. It's sparkly. You probably can't see that, but it is super sparkly. So there's just some single crochets, some half double crochets, some double crochets, and then in knit. All right, so again, tell me what you like. Do you like it in the knitted? Or do you like it in crochet? This is kind of what I was talking about here, where you have a thick and thin. You see this little line right here. That is where that particular section was thinner than the rest of it. And this is a little bit thicker. That's what I was talking about. It's not hugely noticeable in a project like this. Sometimes it's more noticeable in crochet, depending on the stitches you're using. But I can open this there. And it is like almost invisible. But there's this small section right here that was thinner than the rest of the yarn. Now, if I was to crochet, that would be the equivalent of probably 2 double crochets right there. So that section. Maybe even about a double crochet and a half. But at any rate, it's hard to see in knitting. I see it. You probably see that distinct line. That's what that is. But here we go. I love this section here because it's got almost all the color in one small section. All right, everyone. I hope that you have been enjoying these blending of fibers. It's like painting on the drum carder, and it's enjoyable to me to be able to do something a little bit different for you, give you something fun to watch. If there's some other colors that you would like to see blended together and see what they look like, let me know. And I would love to incorporate this into videos every so often. So I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, liking, commenting, all of that fun stuff. And I want to also say, be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, bye for now, everyone.